So, episode 2 of Ghost Games of Digimon has aired, and welcome back all Digimon fans. This time, time to go over the fate of Digimon's Ghost Games. Did it live up to the first episode's what laid down for us? And I think the horror aesthetic still stayed, the animation quality stayed at the same level, and to be honest, yes it did. So we're all excited for the amazing Ghost Games. I personally am. Hopefully you are. And here's a small recap of last episode. The first Digimon attack where everyone was losing life energy was Clockmon coming at everybody, stealing their time and just bringing them to a very old, decrepit age. Luckily no one died by the looks of it, and it showed that overall darker tone, and that they were able to return everyone back to time after defeating Clockmon with Hero and Gamamon. Gamamon just taking that W for the first episode. Let's go and let's see what happens in this episode. Now that same evening where Gamamon and the battle with Clockmon happened, a very exhausted person is kind of like walking home from work and gets attacked by a mummy, which no one is surprised to see, but Mummymon has made a return since 02, and it's amazing to see a very familiar face making a return, because what looks like a drunk homeless guy witnessed the attack of Mummymon wrapping up this poor human, and it's horrifying seeing him get wrapped up. You see just what's in his last eyes, and his glass is a reflection of Mummymon, which is, oh my goodness, classic horror film in every sense of the way. Then it cuts to Gamamon trying to wake up Hero from his long-deserved rest, and you know what he does? Straight up bites him like a pet, or just like a significant other or a child that doesn't know how to express themselves just yet, and all because he's hungry. You know, that's adorable. It's starting to show this dynamic of understanding Digimon's needs and stuff like that, especially since this is like a Guilmon reference to Ducato, where it's not as bitey Guilmon was, but Guilmon was kind of pushy about it. So it's kind of funny to see like Gamamon, Guilmon level in this series, which is really nice. So Hero decides to buy food and sneak it back into his room. Well, if you know anything about Digimon, which we all do, one cheeseburger is not going to be enough. They need like 30 of those things quite easily. So it's time to get food for this bottomless pit, boys and girls. But Hero is asking a lot of questions to see if Gamamon might know where his dad is, and a way to get him back to the real world, because that is Hero's goal at the end of the day, is to find out why his dad disappeared now and how to get him back, because he wants to know why that he left. So it's very understandable. But Hero learns that Gamamon can open doors and can get wherever he wants. What's amazing, we learn that he has wings like a bat and he can fly. So Hero makes a decision that Gamamon can't be trusted home alone, because Gamamon's just gonna leave if he feels like it, if he gets impatient. So Hero just starts carrying him around in his backpack, which is a smart idea. And it's a really clever way of transporting the Digimon around. Then we get a look at the museum that is being haunted by none other than Mummymon. Rilu is there investigating, doing research for herself, which is our second protagonist. That's going to be helping later on, which is amazing to see, to say the least. She's got her ghost hunting party ready to go around and take on this museum. And she's kind of, out there with, she's trying to yell at the mummies to move and stuff like that. And it's quite funny and entertaining. Like in any horror film, you kind of get that eye that appears in like a painting or into the mummy itself. This one's the mummy. Mummymon opens up its eyes, trying to peer through and search. The girl catches it for a quick second, but he closes his eyes rapidly quick and it blends in with the mummy. So it makes it really difficult to find out, like, was these looking at him? I love the horror trope it is, because again, that's what usually happens in horror movies, is the old classic closes their eyes after peering through. and now they're like, okay, it looks normal. Then Hero and Gamamon run into Chumon, who jumps into the bushes, and like Hero, wants to get answers out of any Digimon he can find just to see if he can get to the digital world and get his dad back. So he tries to catch Chumon, but Chumon's already gone through the bushes and out of there. And Hero's like yelling while Gamamon's yelling, and everyone starts staring. And that's when we realize that, one, Gamamon's not invisible to everybody else, and two, that Gamamon is going to cause more issues if he can't be able to be hidden. So Hero bolts it out there and heads to a grocery store to get a bunch of food for Gamamon, but just enough for this meal, it seems. He didn't buy enough to buy for a couple meals because Digimon eat like crazy. And then poor little Gamamon, a person selling samples and everything, they're talking back and forth. She asks if it's a hologram, and she tries to touch it. It looks so lifelike, and Hero bolts it out of there, and we get a scene of poor Gamamon, heartbroken, trying to reach for his food. And, you know, Hero sees a magazine on the top on the shelf where he's checking out, and he picks it up. It's all about Mummymon's attack, a mummy in this town. So really interesting. Hero starts taking notes on Gamamon, what he says after each thing he eats, which is really awesome and very wholesome. I love these kind of moments in Digimon. It creates a very close-knit bond with the Digimon. Like, shiny means good, scary means spicy, and then we get cut back into the room after we had Gamamon eat a chocolate, and we get this adorable Gamamon. So then back at the room, Hero's reading the mummy magazine he bought to see that a mummy that he thinks looks like a Digimon, which he is right. Then Gamamon having a dream saying, strong, too strong, this is the champion. Could be a reference to the OG English opener song, or referencing future evolution events that we might see in this episode. But Hero thinks it means chocolate. Could be right, but a great spin on things. Back at the museum, Mummymon finally comes out to play, and blink and you could miss this before Mummymon shows up. There's a mummified Agumon in a display case. Cool Easter egg right there. I really love these kind of moments. Mummimon's newest victim is an exhausted worker who just wants to quit her job, while Mummymon captures her and then brings her down to this abandoned subway / construction site. We're just going to call it a tomb, where he feels that like all humans will be resurrected through this process, through eternal darkness. And then we get Kishiru. Then we get Hero leaving the school's dorm, guess who we run into? The clown from the last episode. Katoro, sent back early because his mom found out he was just flirting with his nurse. Classic tropes. Then we have Kishiru showing up, asking questions what happened to Hero, and then Hero says he slipped and that was what broke the whole window. Asked what the window was being made out of this time, but Kishiru is not having it. He seems quite off this episode, like something is just enticing him or something like that, putting him on edge. I think Jellymon's messing with him, so we might see Jellymon the fourth episode in, not the third. I really think third is a different focus point, but Jellymon is definitely coming up pretty soon. So that's why he's probably walking on eggshells and acting a lot more stir crazy, because Jellymon is very playful. And now at the museum, Gamamon and Hero walk by a T-Rex. Gamamon asks if that thing is a Digimon. No, it's a dinosaur. Hero replies, but Gamamon says it reminds him of a Digimon he knows / sleens. That's got to be a Greymon reference or a Tyrannomon reference. Nothing else too crazy. They kind of hide in a bathroom till the museum kind of closes, and we look at what we get here is Hero looking at a post from Rilu talking about their adventures at the museum. And while good news is we get Mummy Gamamon out of this. Enjoy the cuteness here. I really love these kind of moments. Like I said, it's just very wholesome. Digimon's a very wholesome part. The tamer Digimons are always like these cute things, except for Renamon. Renamon was just, you know, Renamon. After all said and done, Hero tries and explores the closed museum after it closed. before Mummymon attacks again, and we learn that Gamamon could unlock digital anything. So doors that have digital locks, he gains his green glowing. This is like a major connection that allows us a unique spin on Digimon interacting with the real world, which makes it probably super useful in the future events. Now we get to see a fated clash between Hero, Mummymon, and Gamamon. Hero wants to know more of how to get to the digital world, and maybe if Mummymon knows anything about his dad. Sadly, it ends up being a dead end. Then Hero sighs out of exhaustion of going like then Mummymon triggers and just starts wrapping him up and taking him away. Poor Gamamon gets beat pretty quickly here, pinned to a wall and wrapped, and it just ends up being a sad moment. Then we get Mummymon takes Hero to the tomb for the resurrection eternal rest, while Hero starts putting 2 + 2 together. As more Mummymon talks, he starts realizing that Mummimon's just trying to help in his own way, because similar to Gamamon, we learn that certain words don't mean the same thing to a Digimon as a human, and they're still learning for it. So just because is not truly evil, Mummimon's trying to help people. So he figures that Mummimon's actually a doctor, just with an extremely bad temper after, you know, Gamamon breaks Hero out and Mummymon just starts shooting up the place. And then we kind of get some informational backstory that he learns that as he stays at the museum, that the mummification is what's supposed to heal people, and he misunderstood that. So after they get captured again, Gamamon's getting shot at while Hero's being dragged in, wrapped again. We get finally Gamamon pushed to a point where evolution is met, which gives us our first evolution sequence in the show, and we get Belta Gamamon in the flesh. Belta Gamamon's got fire around it. It's a very high quality animation, and he's got a brand new moon called Sora Shot, which helps set up Hero's talks to the villain power to make them yield. Like a lot of anime protagonists that we know of from any shonen magazine, a lot of them can do a talk out of the situation and get the villain to join them on their side. So it's great to see Hero kind of getting there against it, which helps Hero get Mummymon to release everybody. And then Hero tries to direct Mummymon to learn doctoring from a real hospital, which I think is a great way and a great spin. And then we get a glimpse of what's going to be next focus, and that's Ruli and Angoromon. Some connection. We're going to see what they're going to do. So they're going to probably follow them around and see. And this probably will be where we get a Dim and the V bracelet for her to combine with, and she gets her own Digimon, which is going to be really nice. So what did you think about this episode? I really loved every aspect of it. It was such a brand new, fresh take, and it shows that classic Digimon are all bad. They're kind of just doing what they're trying to understand. It's like this world is fresh and new to them, and they're trying to help in a way. So it's really good to see that Mummymon isn't evil, but he's just trying to help. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next review. Peace.